Pio, Pio, Pio. Pio, Pio, Pio. What's up, guys? Into 2, River Plate nil. Pio Esposito. What a week that he's having. Assist. It was a bit of a gifted assist, but assist against Urawa Reds for the game-winning goal for Carboni. And today, or last night in USA, he got his debut first goal for Inter in his first start for Inter. What a week that he's had, and very, very well deserved. He didn't even celebrate with his usual celebration, which actually reminds me, I need to get back into the gym, his puny arms. But he does not have puny arms, but he was so lost in the moment, so happy. He said in the post-match interview that he didn't even realize that he scored, until I saw Lautaro running at me and the players. It didn't even sink in. He was so happy, and you could just see it on his face that you couldn't even do. When you're in the moment, you don't even think about what type of celebration you want to do. This just pure joy, pure happiness, and I'm very, very happy. Last week it was Carboni, amazing moment for him, and today it is the moment of Pio Esposito. And wow, guys, breath of fresh air. I'm literally gonna open the window. Some youthfulness, some new fresh air coming into this Inter team, this new Chivu Inter. Yes, maybe. Actually, I'm going to close the window because you probably hear outside noise coming in. Maybe some of these decisions at the moment, as I keep saying, I might be forced in the lineup. But Chivu, we've seen Inzaghi play the youth when it's pre-season, when maybe there's no choice. We've seen the likes of Eddie Salcedo and Agume, these guys. But when Inzaghi was playing them, it was kind of like, here, man, have your appearance, man. Have it. Like, it's just, we're gonna have to play you. We're gonna have to play you. But with Chivu, it feels like, yes, it's forced at the moment, and we don't know whether if Taremi and more senior players and everyone was available, whether they would have played. But the way that he's playing them, and then the way he's talking about these players afterwards with Pio, with Carboni, he's talking to them about them very positively. After Carboni scored in the last game, Barella revealed that Chivu made the team. Once they got back to the dressing room after the game, they made the whole team clap, gave him like a minute of applause for Carboni to try to, what a journey that Carboni's been through, the pain of an ACL injury at his age, they know, and they want to, help him through this. And this is what Chivu is bringing. It's a different style of communication, different way of handling the players, and maybe that's what they needed after, the very bad end to the season last year, the mental scars that have been left over. It's nice to see. And another breath of fresh air to see. Oh, guys on yellow cards, stay on the pitch, guys. Wow, what a discovery. What a discovery. Guys that are experienced footballers, world-class players in their positions can stay on the pitch after they get a yellow card. And now, again, I'm not firing shots at Inzaghi. I'm not, Inzaghi, betrayed us, and now I need to. It's just new, different things that we didn't see before, that we used to criticize Inzaghi for, that I would still criticize Inzaghi if he will still be doing it, if he's still here. You can trust players, experienced players, on yellow cards. Overall, I know that the record shows under Inzaghi that Inter barely, I think we've got like one yellow card, one red card in the whole Inzaghi tenure, maybe two, I can't remember. But in general, his way of working worked. But sometimes we also know that keeping certain players on the pitch probably would have helped us. We don't have the proof of it, but it just makes sense that some of these experienced players sometimes, maybe not all the time, but sometimes when there's, less experienced option on the bench, you can keep them on, and especially if they're still fit and doing well. So that was another little breath of fresh air that I enjoyed. But let's be real, and make sure you leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I forgot to say that. It was not an easy game. This was probably the toughest game we had until now. River Plate, my goodness. That the stereotype of Argentinian football, they were like, nah, forget about breaking down stereotypes. We want to live up to the stereotype. Garra, the grinta, and a bit over the top, really, sometimes, really turning into a brawl right at the end. Acuna and the Denzel Dumfries at the end literally had to be separated because that could have turned very, very ugly right at the end, because Acuna Matata completely lost his head at the end of the game, got himself red carded quite rightly. And here, the scenes after the game, Denzel is signaling to him, come on, let's go down the tunnel. I'll meet you there, brother. Meet me down there. And you look at the amount of players it's taking. Esposito's trying to take away Dumfries. The whole River Plate team is trying to stop Acuna. Even Kolarov had to get involved at the end. Chivu was running all the way down. But you know what? I didn't get to watch this game live, but if I had to watch this game live at 2 a.m., I would have been, adrenaline would have been on, and the whole house would have been. I would have woken up the whole house, because River Plate brought the game, and I think Inter enjoyed it. Like, we saw a different Inter in the last two games. Inter dominated possession. Both teams kind of sat back, especially Urava. But yesterday, we got to see a different side to Inter finally. A team that didn't just sit back. They pressed really high, very aggressively, man-to-man press, as it shows here on the DAZN football show. The press, I think, is called. And shouts out to Lies Bouzidi, by the way, friend of the channel, who used to actually came on the channel I was on his channel once, and he was on my channel once. It's good to see the progression that he's made. He's on actually on DAZN covering the Club World Cup. But as the tactical graph here shows, man for man press, very, very aggressive from River Plate. We barely created anything in the first half because of this. They even tried to press Zomer at times. It was very, very aggressive. So we saw a different type. Inter definitely struggled first 20, 30 minutes. They tried to launch balls into Dumfries, into Martinez, into Esposito. It didn't quite work out a lot of the times. But then slowly, Inter started to find their way. They started to find the third man. Once the Zomer wasn't being pressed, they started to find little angles. There was here Cherby slipped. There was a few struggles. When the ball was launched up, it was lost. But then slowly, Inter started to find their way. Here you can start to see Inter starting to find the third man and then ping balls into space and finding their rhythm. In the first half, I think the only real chance that we created was this one here, where Di Marco crosses it in, but it was just a half chance for Pio Esposito. Apart from that first half, not much was created. In the second half, even before the red cards for River Plate, things started to work better. Lautaro definitely had a few more chances that he should have taken advantage of. But again, some of the fouls from the players. This was Martinez Cuarta in behind on Lautaro. That was a really a dirty one. Just literally kicked him from behind. Let's see what else they got in. Oh, this is just the first half highlight. Wow, they're breaking down the highlights into halves. Did we create anything from this one? DiMarco crosses it in. No. First half, not much. Second half, definitely things changed around. Lautaro had a few shots. You can see the XG that we created, 2.2. Oh, yeah, sorry. There was that massive chance for Pio Esposito as well. That was first half, right? Pio Esposito blocked on the line from River Plate. That was the only big chance. Not much from River Plate. Positives in terms of individual players. Esposito, very good. Struggled, I think, in the beginning, but then started to get into it. Some of his hold-up play, some of his link-up play was good. Good completion rate. Shot 4 times. I think, guys, and I'm not joking here and being a troll, I think in the last 2 games, so he had 4 shots today, Pio Esposito, and I think he had 5 in the previous one. I think he's already matched. The amount of shots. And I'm not joking. Just total shots. I'm not talking about on target. Total shots that Taremi had all of last season, or maybe he's almost there in the space of 2 matches. Yeah, he had 4, so he had 8. I'm not joking with you. I'm not even trolling. I think Taremi had about 13, 14 shots maybe in total. The whole of last season, that's how much Taremi struggled. It wasn't just, it was really like just a lack of shooting from Taremi. And this is what Pio Esposito can bring to this team. And if he can continue playing like this, I was definitely in the camp that if he's not going to be given the minutes, he should be loaned out, but to a Serie A team, 100%. He's ready for Serie A. like what Lorenzo Lucca was doing for Udinese. This guy can do for Udinese. He can do a job for not a relegation battling Serie A team, not back to Spezia. This guy can play a higher level. But at this point, if you just watch him, even off the ball, a guy to bring on when Inter need a goal. This guy is always running in behind, ready, battling the defenders in the air. He's a massive threat. If he's got the mentality to understand that he's not going to be the starter, obviously Thuram and Lautaro are going to be the starters. Boni's coming in. But if he's got the mentality to accept around about 1,500 minutes max, and then maybe you could even usurp some guys, if they're not on their game. He looks like he's got the mentality compared to his brother Sebastiano, who we know has had those attitude issues over his past loan stints. Salvatore as well, the oldest brother, who's a Spezia as well. This guy, I've watched him in interviews. If you haven't watched the short I uploaded yesterday, he talks about how he put on 10 kilograms of muscle over the last year or so, and you can see it. He's the one bullying adult defenders. The mentality of this guy is different from his brothers. He looks more mature, even though he's the youngest. He seems the most mature for his age. He looks like a hard worker. He knows what he needs to do, and he's a bit of a throwback, which I think modern football needs, and Inter at some points needs a guy that just fills the box and gets on the end of things. And this guy has got the knack to get on the end of things. So Pio Esposito, keep going like this, bro. Don't start getting gas. Don't start getting too cocky and ahead of yourself. Keep working like this. And especially a coach like Chivu, who was speaking about him in glowing terms, is I wouldn't be surprised if he keeps him. I want to give a shout out to Darmian. I think he was really, really solid at the back. Pretty much nothing got past him. And this is the position that he should play in, 100% right centre-back. I do not want to see Matteo Darmian as a wing-back anymore. Acerbi, apart from a couple of slips and a couple of mistakes on the ball, really, really solid. Masterclass in how to play against this Boha guy who barely got a kick all game. Colidio, our former youth player, awful performance from him. Bastoni, what a goal at the end. Got a bit lucky with the little, the slide tackle. River Plate completely lost their heads at the end, but good finish. Trademark little Bastoni run. Caps off a great performance. Di Marco looks better. Or of course got substituted around the 60th minute. That's something that I think we're going to continue seeing. This is something Inzaghi used to do. I think Chivu will continue doing. And also Barella got subbed off as well. Mkhitaryan, I saw lots of criticism for Mkhitaryan's performance, but guess what? Guess what Chivu said after the game, guys? Mostruosa performance, he said. Mostruosa, monstrous performance. So again, put your mind at rest, your soul at rest. If you think Mkhitaryan is going to be gone, Mkhitaryan is going to be benched, put your heart and soul to rest, brother, whoever you are, because Mkhitaryan continues to perform well. Yes, he should have scored. Sucic should have got an assist. He should have buried that. There was another one where Mkhitaryan shot it, and I think it was going straight to the keeper, but it got blocked. He should do better in those positions. There were some very frustrating passes that he missed as well with Mkhitaryan. But the engine on this guy, the way he covers the ground, the way he positions himself, guys, he still is important to this team. I know we want some fresh air, and we want more fresh air in terms of these Acerbis and Mkhitaryan's. We want to completely change the face of this Inter and get some new faces in. I understand that frustration. But once the guys like Mkhitaryan are putting in performances like this, Chivu is going to continue playing him. But at the same time, when someone comes in like Sucic did today, you cannot rest on your laurels. Last season, Frattesi, yes, he scored his goals and his sub performances were good, but his starting performances never put Mkhitaryan's starting spot in doubt or Barella's. But this is a type of performance from Sucic that puts Mkhitaryan and Barella on watch. Like, solid on the ball, grinta, athleticism. This guy covers ground like none of our other midfielders can do, because he's tall, He's powerful. We haven't had a midfielder of this height since probably Vecino, in terms of just being able to cover the ground. Long legs. He's 6'4", 6'1". Once he starts, his legs get going, this guy can cover ground. If you haven't watched his performance, I've posted it on my second channel. Make sure you support that second channel, by the way, guys. Come on, let's get it up to 500 subscribers, where I post comps and little videos about interlinked players and inter players. I've put the video down below of his performance. Very, very good performance. And his assist to Pio was lovely. 2 out of 2 dribbles, 2 out of 2 long balls, 4 out of 5 ground duels won. Fantastic performance. I want to see him start next to Barella and Mkhitaryan, or even see him in the Asllani role. Speaking of Asllani, again, when I logged in this morning, I saw Twitter. I saw criticism of Asllani performance. Yes, again, as usual, some of his defensive decision-making and performances are still lackadaisical, but I actually enjoyed it. I watched the full game. I did not see the reason why people were criticizing Asllani. There was definitely... There's never a full performance where you're fully satisfied with Asllani. I agree with that. Like, there's always something with Asllani where you're like, oh, you should have done this, or you messed up here. Like, there was one header, completely free header, that River Plate got because Acerbi stepped out and Asllani stepped in, but not fully, and the guy got a free header. But he's doing well. He continues to do, okay. Again, he's definitely not going the answer for selling Hakan, and Asllani's ready to step in. I still think we need to loan him out. But I don't see the criticism in the performance. Good return from Denzel, but as we know, it was difficult. This Acuna guy gave him a hard time, but you can see the importance of Denzel in this team. This was his first match back from injury. Lautaro looks fresher, looks fitter. I think he completed more dribbles today than I've seen him complete all of last season. Look at that, only one pass that he got wrong. Should have scored for sure. Look at that, 2 out of 3 dribbles. He looked more fresh. He looked more, energized. And he definitely relished the matchup against these Argentinian counterparts. Good performance overall, but definitely should score. Other substitutes, Valentin Carboni didn't really get involved in this one. Augusto was okay. De Vrij didn't really get involved. Esposito as well didn't really get involved. But yeah, up next we got Fluminense in the knockout stages. So now it starts to get serious. And now, as I said, I am starting to get more and more interested in this tournament. And one thing that also helped in this performance, I think the team looked fresher. This game was played in Seattle, so cooler weather in Seattle already compared to where we were before in LA. Evening game in the shadow, so cooler temperatures already. So I think that helped our players, and it made a difference. The players look fitter, look fresher. There wasn't that big drop off in the second half like we've seen in the last few matches. And yeah, River Plate wanted to have a war, wanted to have a battle, and we didn't back down from that. So I'd like to see that as well. Yeah, well done to Chivu with the work that he's done mentally on this team, and well done to the boys to get this job done. On to the next one. I think just this win gives us an extra $7-8 million into the bank just for qualifying to the next round. So yeah, as you guys know my opinion on this. I don't want to go too far into this competition. Again, not the loser mentality, not because I look down on the competition, just because I don't want this team to lose out on next season. More time into this competition means less rest for these players, which they need, and less pre-season time compared to other Serie A teams for Chivu and his new staff to implement what they want to implement. That's my reasoning and thinking. But of course, I'll be supporting the team as far as they go into this competition, and we probably should be beating Fluminense, into the next round. But these Brazilian teams have been very, very good, if not the most impressive teams in this tournament. Thiago Silva, of course, the star player for Fluminense. We'll watch that one. We'll catch you on the reaction of that one. Ciao ragazzi, always, Forza Inter, Forza Pio Esposito, Forza the Youth.